Hey everyone, happy Friday. I hope that your Friday is starting off well today and that you've got a good weekend planned. I wanted to jump in here just for a couple minutes because I had this, I don't know if it was quite an epiphany, but I had this moment yesterday that I thought was, that kind of made me think about some of the ways I was thinking about maintaining calm and quiet in our lives and the importance of that. So yesterday I was driving back from dropping my son off to school and had the radio turned up, and all of a sudden I thought I smelled this odd smell. You know, that kind of like, is it burning rubber? Is it burning like electrical smell? What is it? I couldn't identify it. So what did I do? I turned down the radio. I turned down the volume on the radio so I could smell better. And I think we've all done that. Like, and I thought, what? And it works somehow. I was able to say like, oh, okay, that's not my car. That's a car that just passed me. But why, why in the world do we do that? Do we turn down the sound to be able to smell better? And it made me think about the fact that that's true for a lot of things. What is it about being able to get some quiet allows us to be able to identify a problem or a need better than when there is noise, whether it's actual noise in our environment or in our outer environment or the inner noise that is in here. That need to quiet to be able to focus and concentrate and identify the problem and come up with the solution. And that's really, then I thought, okay, that's kind of connected to what happened to me last weekend. So all of January and into February has been really busy in the Branson Corcoran household. We've been doing a lot. I spent some time, went up to Ohio to be with my mom who has Alzheimer's, and that was a big trip and also, emotionally taxing. We were in New York for legal week. We visited some friends in upstate New York. We've been going quite a lot. And when we're home, there's a lot going on. We've got our 16-year-old lives with us. And if you are a parent of a teenager, you know what all that entails. So there was a lot going on. And last weekend, we had nothing scheduled for the first time in I don't know how long, which was amazing. And Friday and into Saturday morning, I was in a really sour mood, just snapping at Harry and at Tim, and I was just feeling just all like, and couldn't figure out why. I thought, this is my weekend off, and this is my time. I've got, there's so many things I could be doing around here, getting things done, and what's going on with me? And I'm snapping everyone's head off. So I turned the proverbial sound down on my internal radio and sat with myself for a minute and asked myself a couple of questions. So first I just kind of sat back and tried to quiet my mind and asked myself, what is the story I am telling myself right now? What's the story I'm telling myself right now about what I should be doing, what expectations there are of me? And I identified that the story I was telling myself was that I had this weekend at home for the first time in a long time, and I better make it worthwhile. I better make it count. So there are a lot of things around the house that hadn't been getting a lot of attention. So there are plenty of tasks and chores to do. And oh my gosh, we haven't seen our local friends in a while. So we should do that. And, I haven't spent time with the pets. So I need to dog walk. And so all of these shoulds. And this weekend, which had really nothing official on the agenda, I had put the weight of all of these shoulds. I was shoulding all over it. And so once I identified that that was the story I was telling myself, I'd quieted myself enough, turned down the volume enough to say, what is the story I'm telling myself right now? And then to say, is that story true? Or does it have to be true? Right? Okay, Renee, you've come up with this list of a million things that you're supposed to be doing or that you should be doing. Does that all need to happen? Would it be the end of the world if I put off that chore list? I've been meaning to paint the walls behind me here for the last, I don't know, 2 months. Would the world stop spinning if I didn't do it another week? Okay, yes, we do need to get some food in the house, so grocery shopping needs to happen, but does it have to be me? Nope. I've got 2 other people in the house willing to go do that for me or with me. Okay, so now so some of that story is not true, that I have to do all of that. And now the other question is, what do I need right now? So when I was able to be quiet with myself, I could say, what is it that I really need? And the answer that came up for me was I needed rest, like deep rest, nurturing rest. And so I gave myself permission, right? I didn't need external permission, right, to do any of those things, but I needed to give myself permission for it. I was able to say, all right, Renee, this is what you need. I don't need to paint this wall behind me. I want to paint this wall eventually behind me, but I don't need to. But what I really need, so I'm not feeling miserable and making everyone else around me miserable because I'm jumping out of my skin and jumping out at them all the time, I need some rest. So I spent the rest of the weekend taking a nap. Okay, multiple naps on the couch. I finished a book that I had been reading. I took my dog for a walk and my husband, and able just to spend time with them without any agenda, and really nurtured myself for the weekend. And instantly maybe not instantly, but eventually my anger and frustration and anxiety levels lowered. I started to feel really rested, not just the kind of rest that you get when you sleep in, although I slept in too, but that real kind of rest restored me. And I don't know that I would have gotten there had I not turned down the proverbial radio in my mind to be able to sniff out, sorry, the metaphor's continuing, to sniff out what I needed, what the problem was. So that's something that we all can do. And that is really a benefit of seeking quiet and calm. Sometimes it's beneficial just in and of itself, right? You don't come up with some epiphany of, oh, this is what I need. You just need that second or few minutes of calm and quiet. But sometimes you need it because it's going to lead you to something deeper that you need. And allowing yourself space to get that is something that is within reach of all of us. And it can take really just a few minutes of time to ask yourself, what's the story am I telling myself right now? What is it that is it true? Does it match up with what I really need in the moment? And how can I give myself what I need in the moment? And doing that for ourselves makes us more resilient. It restores ourselves. So I just wanted to share that with you. And the next time that you are in the car with the radio blasting and enjoying some music, and you smell a strange smell and have to turn down the radio, remind yourself that you can turn down your internal radio as well and listen for what you need. I just wanted to share that with you today. Have a great weekend.